What's going on, everybody? It's Rev, and welcome back to another Dauntless video. Today I'm going to be sharing everything I know about Thraxx, hopefully helping you secure your first Thraxx kill. So cutting right into it, let's talk Umbral Escalation. If it's your first time playing Escalation, know that Thraxx is only available in the hardest difficulty, which is the 10 through 50 difficulty. Once you're in the 10 through 50 difficulty, you'll need to score 40 or more points in order to proceed to the Thraxx fight. This is done by scoring high on the individual waves of behemoths before Thraxx. Getting higher grades gets you more points. You get higher grades by killing quickly, not dying, and not raising the danger meter to high levels. Moving on to another important aspect of Escalation, power boosts. As you keep running Escalation of a particular element, you'll receive shards that serve as XP for your lantern. As you level up, you'll want to visit the LAD, or Lantern Attunement Device, located next to Arc and Drew. At the top of the Umbral Escalation talent tree, you'll see several rewards. Some of these rewards are called power boosts, that allow you to deal more damage and reduce oncoming damage while in a particular element of that escalation. Make sure you're picking up these boosts because they are highly impactful and very much so needed to killing Thraxx quickly and effectively. That's the quick and dirty on Escalation. Let's talk about the Thraxx fight itself. The thing about most Umbral behemoths is that they're not super scary until they go Aether form. Most behemoths, if they have one, don't go Aether form until about a minute into their fight. This means that when you're first engaging Thraxx, this is when it's at its weakest. It has a handful of moves it will throw at you, but none of them are insanely deadly once you acquired a few power boosts. A very common move you'll see Thraxx do is the body slam it uses to reposition. You'll see this move a lot, and once you get used to the timing, you'll be good at dodging it forever. Another common move, and very hard to dodge attack, is a little move I call tap dancing. And this attack doesn't really look like an attack, it's super quick, and it knocks you over. There isn't a lot of counterplay here, as this attack is faster than most weapon attacks, to the point it feels kinda cheesy. It uses this move the most when a Slayer is on its flank, so be mindful of your positioning and prepare to dodge. When standing behind Thraxx, it will use a little tail twerk to get you off of it. For some reason, this move also has a frontal hitbox that's really annoying, but a simple dodge to the side at the right time will dodge the tail portion of the attack. Keep in mind that the tail portion of Thraxx is probably the hardest break to get, and you'll need it for most weapons. Moving on to the ranged attacks. When you're at range, Thraxx has an option to spit at you, which is very reminiscent of Shroud Goop, not really a big deal. An arm wiggle, Thraxx will open up a portal and attack you through the portal with its arm. This move is mildly confusing, but just know that the best way to dodge this attack is by moving to the left or to the right of the portal opening. And lastly, it has its interrupt attack, that it lurches back and then dashes in a U-shaped pattern. Hitting the front area of Thraxx will result in an interrupt for big damage. Next up is the Enrage animation. Thraxx will coil itself up and go into the air and then slam back down. This move is very similar to the body slam and just as easy to dodge once you get used to seeing the animation, but there is something to take away from Thraxx's Enrage. When Thraxx enrages, this resets the cooldown of Thraxx's interrupt attack. This means that you can interrupt Thraxx, deal enough damage to make it enrage, and move back to range to get another interrupt window. Not as easy as it sounds, but it's how I've scored some of my fastest kills on this behemoth. Now let's talk about the dreaded Aether form. This is where Thraxx gets tricky. When entering Aether form, Thraxx dives into a portal and then starts zipping around the arena, leaving umbral fissures in its wake. Thraxx is interruptible in this attack. While it won't exit Aether mode, it will give you more room to work with when fighting, as there will be less fissures on the ground. Touching these fissures damage you and blight you. You can avoid the fissures by simply jumping over them. When in Aether form, Thraxx has access to its basic kit, but also some portal tricks where it dives into the arena floor. This is part of the fight that confused me a lot early, because I always expected an attack from the floor. On the contrary, all the attacks that start from the floor end in the sky, so keep your camera skyward. One of them is a mounting attack where Thraxx comes crashing down hard onto the floor and creates a fissure. This is pretty fast, and you'll need to be on point with your dodges to skate by this one. It also rolls around on the ground for a period after it crashes into the ground with active hitbox frames, so be mindful of that. Another is more of a horizontal dive that is really, really easily avoidable if you're paying attention. Lastly, when Thraxx is leaving Aether form, it will pull you in via portal and move you right next to it. Promptly after, the Umbral energy explodes for massive damage and the Aether form ends. And then the fight continues. There is one last attack to talk about, and that is Thrax's I am eating you move. Thraxx will open its big ol' mouth and dive onto a Slayer, consuming them. This will put Thraxx into an interruptible state, and the player inside can actually mash buttons to help break out. This move puts Thraxx at 3 total interruptible attacks, and is honestly the reason why I consider him to be the easiest escalation boss as you gain more power boosts. But hopefully this information was useful to you in some way, shape, or form. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch it. I greatly appreciate it. If you like this video, please leave a like. It helps the video out a ton. If you would like to support the channel, you can sub on Twitch to get my partner Flare. You can use creator code RevvyRad in the Dauntless in-game store. If you want to be updated on my antics and enter the Hunt Pass giveaways, you can hit me up on Twitter. All that nonsense will be in the description. Thank you guys again so very much for watching, and I will see you on the Shattered Isles.